Quick question. So, Ron Siegel
What's the
Radio, where
minimum
we help
down
homeowners
payment
and
needed to buy a
first-time
home?
buyers make smarter decisions
If
about
you
their
said
finances, retirement, and community impact.
20%,
Today's guest knows
You're
what it
not
means
alone.
to serve
But
on the
you'd be wrong.
battlefield and on the financial
and
front
that wrong
lines.
answer might be
Retired
costing you
U.S.
thousands.
Navy senior chief
I am Ron
real
Siegel,
estate
certified
leader
liability advisor,
and
helping
author of
families build wealth through
Military Money and
strategic
More.
debt
Travis
management.
Winfield is here.
Here's something that
to share how
surprised me. According
military
to families
first
can
home
build wealth,
IQ,
leverage their
only
VA
8
benefits,
out of 100
and
people
transition
know
into
the actual
civilian life
minimum down payment
financially
required
strong.
for a conventional
We have
home loan.
powerful,
Think about that.
practical conversation.
92% of the people get
Welcome,
this wrong.
Travis.
Thanks for having
Most
me,
folks
Ron.
say
Of
10%
course,
or
man. How's it
20%.
going?
I
Oh,
hear
it's
it all the
going
time in
great.
my
So,
office. Someone
Let's
comes
talk.
in, they've been
What do you
saving
got going
for
on?
years,
You've
putting off
always got
homeownership
so much
because
going
they think
on.
they need this
But now you've
massive
got a
chunk
new
of
endeavor.
cash.
Yeah, well,
The
you know, if my
reality
wife had
is,
anything to say
as
about it,
little
it
as
wouldn't be as
3%.
much. But no, this is
Unless
my
you're one
passion
of the
project,
members
man. I've been
of
very
our
blessed.
military.
As you know, you've
Yes,
known me
you
over
get
the
it
years. I
for
used to have
zero,
the
and
Winfield group and still
only because you
do.
earned it,
But I was very
not
blessed to
because it's a
turn that
gift.
over to my son,
Now, I'm not
Sebastian
saying
Winfield,
3% is
last
right
year.
for
And so
everyone.
he's
Strategy
running that
beats
team,
rate
and that
always.
freed
And
me
the
up
same thinking
to
applies
follow
to
my
down
new
payments.
passion. And it's
Which
always
right
been my
depends on
passion,
your
is to build a
situation, your cash
national
flow,
real
and your
estate brand
overall
that was
financial picture.
devoted
But
to
here's
serving
what
those who
bothers
served
me.
in our military.
People are
And
delaying
so
home
that's where
ownership,
military
missing out
operated
on
real estate
building
was born.
wealth because they're
Interesting.
chasing a number
So,
that doesn't even
and
exist
now,
as a
and we're not going to talk a
requirement.
lot about it today,
We're doing
but
a
you've
couple
got a new
last
book
month.
coming out as
They've been
well.
saving for
Yep.
3 years and
And
about
what is,
$15,000
tell me a little
set
bit,
aside.
just to give us,
They thought they
you know,
needed
we had
another
7
2
people
years to
listening.
hit 20%.
So I know you're going to come back.
When I showed them they can move forward
Here's
now,
just a little
you
hint.
should have seen their
Well,
faces.
it actually feeds into the
They're
company,
in their
right?
new
So
home
the
today. What does
idea
this
is
mean
that if
for
you
you?
look at,
First,
the
stop letting
the statistics
misinformation
out
keep
there,
you on the
less than
sidelines.
12%, about
Second,
12% of all
understand
eligible
that the down
veterans and
payment
active duty members
conversation
have ever
is
used their
just
VA
one
home loan.
piece.
Okay,
We
which
need
is
to
a
look at your
travesty,
household
right?
budget,
But
your
through my
cash
research, I
reserves.
discovered
What
that
makes
probably
sense
about
for your safety,
80%
liquidity,
of our
and
military
return.
are just not financially
You got
sound
key
to be able to
steps yet?
purchase a home. Therefore, they cannot live the dream of, they
RSRlinks.com/keysteps.
defended our country, they
It's
deserve to own a
simple.
piece of it, right?
It'll tell you when
So,
you're mortgage
unfortunately,
ready.
it's a lot of it just has to do with financial
it's
literacy.
going to look at your credit.
Our
It's
military
gonna
does a
give you
lot of amazing
simulator on
things
your
in this
credit.
country, but
It's
unfortunately, that's just
monitoring and
not
watching your
what
credit
we're
for
focused
credit
on. We're focused on the
ID
war
theft.
fighting capability.
It's going to
So-
help
you know
you
something
with
many of us
watching your
believe?
assets.
You know, I love what
It's going to tell you
our
a
Secretary of
plan
War
to
had
say,
to say
are
the
you
other
ready
day
to
that
buy today?
get rid of all
what
the
do you need
woke
to do?
stuff.
Mhm.
And
If you're putting
let the
off
men and
home
women of
ownership
the
because you
military
think you
go
need
out and
20%
do what they're
down,
trained to
let's
do.
talk.
Absolutely.
Visit
Something they're missing apart. I think that they
rsrlinks.com
do
slash
need to get
certified
that.
buyer to learn about our certified
Culmination,
buyer
you know,
program
transition.
and see what's
Well,
actually
I think the
possible
real
for your
issue is
situation.
that it's, if
We'll
you think
actually
about it,
even
you know,
give
yes,
you
we need to focus
a
on the warfighter, but to
certified
focus
buyer
on the
pass.
warfighter, we got to take
Put in
care
your
of
Apple
the home
wallet
base
or your
first, right?
Android
And the
wallet.
number one,
So when you walk into an open house, a
cause
builder,
of
anywhere,
that 60%
you just
divorce
show
rate we
them
have
that
in our
QR
military
code
is
in
due
your
to
Apple wallet,
financial
just as if
issues.
you were going to a concert.
So my goal with the book
And it's
was
right
to,
there for you.
instead
Remember,
of, you know, so
strategy
many
beats
people
rate
focus on,
always.
oh, well, come
And
to the
knowing
VA
real
home loan
numbers, that's
seminar
where
and let me teach you about your
strategy
benefit.
starts.
Well, great.
That
But let's
is
focus.
the
That's
real-time
just a
real estate
symptom.
segment
Why
brought
don't
to
we
you by
focus on the disease, and that's
rsrmoney.com.
financial literacy? So my goal is to take that 12% to
rsrmoney.com.
100%. And that's what the book does. It takes you from the grassroots all the way up to, and as you can see, MORE is our acronym for military operated real estate. So our goal is to take them from basics of budgeting and everything else all the way to the realizing home ownership.
You know something, and it's I wonder because you know, and I just speak my mind out loud, right? Sometimes it gets me in trouble, many times. But you know, we have way too many men and women of the military committing suicide every year.
22 a day.
And I've heard 22. I heard that it went even higher than that. You know, but use 22. It's still too many.
Correct.
Right? 1 is too many. 22 is 22 times that.
Yes.
Right? But I wonder if part of that could be solved if there was a more focused path or conversion going from military life to civilian life, and then taking that financial stress off the table. You know, I think that could help.
It absolutely could help. That is a huge contributor to not only divorce, but you're absolutely right. Unfortunately, a lot of service members, again, statistically, roughly 22 a day, do take their life. And a huge contributor is financial stress. So our goal is really to just help solve that. So that's, and again, the whole concept of the book is to feed into our company, which is there to design to be a one-stop shop for all things real estate for our service members.
Yeah, but you know something, it's to me, when I've listened to you talk, the real estate part is kind of a side issue, right? Because when you're talking about financial literacy, now you're getting into real estate, of course, is a major issue. It's our largest asset, our largest liability, but also dealing with debt and retirement and savings and auto insurance and all the other things that go into it. It's more than just a house.
It is.
And I'll be the first to say it. I get frustrated because I've talked to a lot of military people and they're going out and leasing a piece of property. It kills me, right? I have never served, but I did study about the VA home loan. I've gotten certified as a veteran mortgage advisor, and it costs less for a member with benefits, with VA benefits, to own a house than it does to get for their lease. But people don't understand that.
Well, a lot of it's just knowledge. They just don't know. They don't think they can, right?
Right.
Because remember, you don't join the military to get rich, Ron. Let's be real.
Sure.
Okay. You can Google our paychecks.
It's all right there.
Yeah. It's not the greatest, but it's enough to get by. But what the thing is that a lot of people just think they can't. But a lot of people don't realize the power of compound interest, for example. That is such a lost concept that just does not resonate with the warfighter. So like if you could just take somebody, just use an example, take $200 a day. They never thought about owning a home, but if you just saved $200 a day from age like 20 to 30.
200 a day?
Or no, excuse me, a month. 200 a month. Excuse me,
200 a month. Is a lot.
I apologize. Yeah, 200 a month. And if you do 200 a month, and I tell people like, let's put that in perspective. Can you easily blow $200 in a night going out to party?
Sure.
Of course.
Absolutely.
So I tell everybody that's in the service, like sacrifice one night a month. That's all I'm asking.
Right.
Then you could take that $200 and believe it or not, you can become a millionaire by the time you retire by just sacrificing that one night a month.
Maybe sacrifice those Starbucks.
Right. Oh, that's a huge one,
right?
isn't
I
it?
mean, there's a lot of people that have an $8 or $10 a day habit. You can sacrifice that every other day and you're doing way better as well.
Just
We're going to continue our conversation with Travis Winfield when we come back. Continuing our conversation, we are chatting this morning. Travis Winfield is with us. The Moore Group is the latest venture. And I guess you should call it a school, huh, Travis?
Yeah. And by the way, we dropped the group. It's just Military Operator Real Estate, but our acronym is MORE.
Oh, MORE, okay.
And our tagline is expect more from your agent. So yeah, so one of the things that that I discovered is that, we have all these brokerages out there, but let's be real. The consumer doesn't care what brokerage you're at. They care about the agent themselves.
Absolutely.
And so what
you could go from company A to company B to company C and you're still Travis.
Exactly. And so our goal was to now figure out a way that we could sit there and standardize this industry called real estate. We have in real estate, for example, we have an 87% failure rate in the first 5 years
of agents
that get out of it and just aren't, or even part-time, who aren't really focused on it. So my goal was to, since we're talking about agents that are helping with our veterans with probably the largest financial decision of their lives, our goal was to standardize the expertise that you're receiving from these agents. Now, I'd love to tell you about everybody in the industry, but I'm just focused on believe it or not, 6.5% of all licensed agents are veterans, not including spouses and dependents. So what we want to do is train them so that way it's kind of like McDonald's. If you get a Big Mac at McDonald's, it's the same Big Mac you get in San Diego. So we want to know that if you're a veteran or active duty, you're PCSing from one duty station to another.
Oh, wait, you got to back up. Because I'm a simple guy, PCSing.
Permanent change of station. So when you have military members moving from one location to the other, that's what it is. And by the way, that right there is an example of why you must be military affiliated to walk in our front door. Because if you're listening and you're a veteran, you know what PCS is. I don't have to explain that. And so every one of our agents has to walk a mile in a veteran's shoes before they can be in our organization. So that's just the prerequisite.
And that's a great part of it, because I know when I got trained as a veteran mortgage advisor, that was the first thing they said is if you don't know the acronyms,
right,
don't even get in the business.
Exactly. And so that's the prerequisite. Then
you've got a million acronyms.
I know we do. I could probably have an entire conversation just using acronyms, henceforth why military operated real estate is MORE. But the idea though is that now once you go through, you have to get certified with us and become a MORE certified agent. Then and only then, and by the way, you also have to prove that you've had at least 3 transactions with veterans before you complete your certification. That way I can verify you're military affiliated, have the right training, and have the experience to serve before you serve our veterans in our organization.
That's amazing. And you know something? I think as a lender, I deal with a lot of real estate agents. As a radio host, I deal with a lot of real estate agents.
Of course.
And it's amazing when you look and you talk and you see how few of them even know the general part of real estate correct. No less what it takes, for a military family who might be PCSing from one area to another. And and well, I can only use my benefit once.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite true.
That's it. Yeah, there's so many benefits that serve our military. As a matter of fact, that's one of the unique things about our agents too. We don't just teach them how to buy and sell real estate for our veterans. We teach them how to be benefit experts for our veterans. So let me give you a quick story.
Cool.
One time I was at a listing appointment going to sell a house, and I'm like, well, why are you selling? And their answer to me kind of moved me. They're like, well, you know, we have our kids, they're getting ready to become college age, and we have no idea how we're going to pay for college. And we just don't know what to do. So we got to sell to be able to liquidate some of our assets and go move to where they're going to go to school. I'm like, well, you're a disabled veteran, right? It's like, well, yeah. It's like, did you know that your kid in California can go to any Cal State or UC school for free? Ron, you've never seen them shift where they just start bawling in front of me because they had I get goosebumps every time I talk
me
about
too.
it. Because this family, all I did was provide them a small piece of information and that they had no clue about. And now, guess what? I talked them out of them selling a house. Because they didn't need to sell it anymore.
Sure.
Because now they had the benefits that they needed. And that's
that they
okay.
earned.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, we're about mission before commission. That is what our mantra is.
Now, are you only doing this in California, or are you doing it? Can somebody become a certified agent somewhere else?
We are a national network. Now we're officially launching to the public in November. But right now, I've just finished certifying 30 agents in key locations around the country. So everywhere there's military concentration, we will have a more certified agent available to the consumer. That's why I haven't launched yet, because I got to train these guys and get them ready before I can launch to the public.
Now, when you say to the public, it's not open to the public. It's only open to veterans, right?
No, it's actually not. Just all of our agents are only military, but they can help anybody.
Right, they'll be able to help anybody.
Exactly. So if there's a civilian that wants a more certified agent because they served and they just want to support, cool, you can hire them. We're not restricted to who we serve, but it's like a doctor, right? Any doctor can prescribe you medication, but if you need heart surgery, are you going to hire a dermatologist?
Why not?
No. So in our world, any agent can help you buy or sell a home, but we specialize with serving our veterans.
Gotcha.
All
and
right.
you know something, and the things when I get the opportunity to chat with you, I learn so much because there's so many benefits out there. You know, I focused on the lending side, and I've never served, so I appreciate every man and woman who has. But you know, the idea of how you can challenge your disability rating.
Yes.
Right. I mean, I've heard that from you. You talk about that. And I'm sure that the certified agents will understand that better than anybody once you're done.
And that's just it. We are a resource expert, not just real estate agents. And that's what I wanted to make, makes our agents different. And remember, our agents, we're broker agnostic, so it doesn't matter which brokerage you're at. We're here to just make sure that you are specializing and you know what you're doing when it comes to serving our military. That includes, and I can talk about this more, this will be a little bit more. I'm really looking to also solve the employment crisis amongst our spouses. And I could talk about that with our More Ambassador program. Did you know that our military spouses have a 30% unemployment rate?
Wow.
Think about that. These people, these service members, not only are they there to serve our, fight our country, they're family members. Every time that you got to think they get moved every 3 years. So think about how difficult it is for the spouses to maintain employment when you got to move every 3 years.
So you've got to work for either a national company or have some sort of a telemarketing job or something like that, which is challenging.
Exactly.
And the other part of it is, and I've, because of doing the veteran loans, I understand that the spouses, sometimes they might have a as tough a job or tougher job than the active member.
It is.
Because they wake up every day not knowing if they're going to get that knock on the door.
And that's exactly it. And that's why, so that's where we have what's called the More Ambassador program. And that's for those spouses and active duty members who cannot work real estate full time. We're trying to get them to get licensed so that they can then turn around and just be referral agents and brand ambassadors and educators of our veterans. But then they can still stay at home and raise babies and take care of things, but now still get income to supplement their household income.
Well, and I have a friend of mine that she used to be on the show a lot, that what she ended up doing is becoming a transaction coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So you get educated, and you can be a transaction coordinator just like a lot of us work on Zoom or things like that. You can have somebody anywhere.
Yeah. Well, and that's the exciting part about what we're doing and why we pivoted to a training company, because we're even in development of a financial literacy training course where it's going to be open to the consumer. So this is not just about training the agents. This is also going to be about training the consumer, i.e. the veteran, that they can come and take our class to, if they may not be ready now to buy a home, but they can take our class and it'll put them on the road, on the path to home ownership, whenever that may be.
Love it, because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are getting bad guidance. In fact, I will share with you, because it's personal and I get personal on Romsey Radio. So one of my kids, they're a relative of theirs suggested they go and go through the Dave Ramsey course.
Mm-hmm.
And I will share with you, some of the things Ramsey says is good. Some of them make absolutely no sense. A 15-year mortgage for somebody in California, you're going to be waiting a lifetime until you can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a friend of mine, another friend of mine, a senior, makes me look young. He was just telling me that his credit card got hacked. He only had one. Try living 8 days without a credit card, Mr. Ramsey. You know, I wonder how much he says that he does or how much it is that he sells. Right. Just throwing that out. Continuing our conversation, Travis Winfield is with us. We are talking about more certified and maybe even more, because how about if you're a member of the community and want to learn about some of these things? But Travis, before we went in the earlier segment, we talked about my assertion that maybe some of the problems we have with the suicide rate of the men and women of the military is that, or post-military,
mm-hmm.
is the transition from military life to civilian life.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you go from getting orders every day to do this and that, and I don't understand all of it because I've never served, to saying, good luck, and we'll see you later, and have a good life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how are you going to earn a living? How are you going to do all these things? You've got a program that you're coming out with as part of MORE that might help with that as well, maybe in your last 6 months of duty?
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is what I'm really excited about. So with MORE, we don't want to just be a brand connecting our, you know, consumer or veterans to our MORE certified agents, but we also want to help them get into the business. So for example, there's an incredible program with the Department of Defense or War that's called SkillBridge. And what SkillBridge is—
You have to change the terminology in your book now?
Right? I might.
Your book's not even out, it's outdated.
Yeah, I think that, I don't think I mentioned Department of Defense in it. So, but I do talk about SkillBridge. And what SkillBridge is an incredible program that allows service members who are within 6 months of transitioning out of the service, where they can go and actually basically do an internship with the professional company that they're looking to transition to out of the service. So in other words, they get a running start for the last 6 months, and they still get all their pay and benefits of being on active duty, but instead of reporting to their command, they're reporting to the company. And so we are a national SkillBridge approved company, so that if you're anywhere in the country, we can actually sponsor you to go through SkillBridge and work in real estate and work on getting your license and everything else while you're still on active duty.
Wow.
Yes. And that's huge. But then it doesn't stop there. So a lot of people have a misconception that with military education benefits, like we've all heard about the GI Bill, for example, right? And the big misconception is that you have to go to college to use that GI Bill. Well, in fact, all the education benefits like the VOC Rehab, Chapter 31, GI Bill, Chapter 33, or even the Dependents Education Assistance Program, Chapter 35, you can, you know, use
Chapter
these.
35, when you say that, is that part of your book or is that part of the government?
I'm sorry, it's part of the government.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a law that's out there
Okay.
that supports the education benefits of our military members. And so now you can actually, right now we're only in California, but we're working on a national approval. But you'll be able to, let's just say in California, let's say you had a service member who just got out, got their license. Once they get licensed, they can actually come work for one of our companies and actually get a housing stipend for up to 18 months while we teach them to build their business. The number one reason why agents fail in the business, because they don't have income while they're waiting to build a business. So this gives them that safety net of income while we teach them to build their business. And by the time they're done with their program and they're certified, now they built it up and they don't need that income anymore.
You know something, that's an amazing bridge. And think about that, what that would do for someone's mental state of mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I mean, because you used to be, the one thing I've learned about military people is, number one, they'll never ask for help. They're more than happy to help their brother or sister, but they're generally not going to ask for help themselves. But if they go through this program, now they can be that bridge to helping others.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if you've got a stable income and you've got financial security and you've got this education, and you've got a new mission,
Mhm.
you know, where's the problem mentally?
Well, exactly. And you've also think of it like this, even if you go to college and you get a degree, well, you still got to go get a job after you get to college. With our program, you're kind of already building your own business while you're getting taught how to build it.
Right.
So that's kind of the difference. You're getting a real running head start. So we basically can have somebody get them to use their benefits for a total of 24 months between transitioning out of the military and then once they're licensed.
Think about that concept. I mean, that's, you don't get it. You can't do, no one else gets that benefit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of benefits that are great for the veterans because they've earned it.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to give you, we've only got a few minutes left. I'm going to give you some quick questions, quick answers.
Sure, let's go.
PCS moves, stress or opportunity? One word answer.
Stress.
What's the biggest myth about the VA home loan?
That you can only use it once.
Number one financial mistake most young service members make.
Not investing and saving at an early age.
Most surprising lesson you learned writing military money and more.
Wow, the statistics about how much we need this education.
More in one sentence. How does it change real estate for military families?
Gives you a one-stop shop that you can trust when it comes to making the largest financial decision of your life.
Okay, I'm going to give you throw you a layup here. Who influenced your financial journey the most?
Believe it or not, the gentleman that just walked in is waiting outside has been a huge influence on me, and that's Larry Broughton. And we're getting the blessing of getting to meet him in person here as soon as we're done with this show.
Oh, and Larry's been a guest on the show, and you're right. He is an amazing individual. Finish the sentence. Financial freedom for veterans means?
It means education.
Education.
Yeah. You can't become financially free unless you know how to get there.
Okay, and then here's one I love talking about. Most rewarding success story you've seen from someone following your blueprint?
I think it was one of the most heartfelt ones as well. It's in my book, actually. So the 15th Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, Russ Smith, is the most senior enlisted guy that you could possibly be. There's only been 17 in the entire history of the Navy.
Wow.
And he's become a dear friend of mine. And he came to my financial literacy class a couple of years ago. And afterwards, he goes, Travis, I've been in serving our military for almost 40 years. And this is stuff that needs to be taught at boot camp with our service members. Get this. He had never purchased a home, never saved money in his whole career because he didn't know, he was only focused on the mission. I'm proud to say that he purchased his first home last year. And that was the biggest success story. If you take it for somebody who you just assume just knows everything that you need to know in life, just did not ever get that little piece of information when it comes to financial literacy. And now he's crushing it. And that's I'm proud about it.
Congratulations. That is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, wouldn't it, and I don't know, again, I've never served. I don't know I have no idea what I'm talking about, but just from a common sense, why couldn't they take an hour a week or an hour a month to give some sort of education to our military men and women?
Make no mistake, there are programs out there. So they have in the Navy, for example, the Fleet and Family Service Center, and they do actually do budgeting classes and all kinds of support to help them do that. They also have at your command, the command financial specialist. And again, I'm speaking Navy terms. Every branch has its own flavor of this. The problem is that, you know, they kind of keep it so basic. You think about this, the person teaching at Fleet and Family Service Center is not independently wealthy. They are not financially free. So they only know the basics. So we basically had the blind leading the blind on teaching this financial education. Whereas when I got out of the military, like Larry's a great example. It blew my mind of what we didn't know. You live in a bubble in the military. And so when you get out and you get exposed to all the different possibilities, oh my gosh, it's just so much out there that's just not taught.
Overwhelming.
It is.
Are the men and women required to go take some of these courses?
No, it's all voluntary.
Yeah, see, and
you know, well, I take that back. If you get into trouble, like if you get a letter of indebtedness, then they make you go see the command financial specialist to get you on a budget. But even that budget is not all encompassing.
Yeah, and see, you know something, to me, the men and women, they're young people for the most part, right? And would I have gone and taken a financial literacy class or gone to the local bar?
Right.
I would have gone to the bar.
Absolutely, man. And I've made every financial mistake you can make, Ron. I can assure you. And that's what's all in my book. And that's what my goal is with this book, is just to show you that nobody's perfect. I've talked about every mistake I've made in my life financially and a lot of other things.
I need a bigger book if that was the case.
Right. But it all leads to where we've accumulated today. And that's what I'm excited about.
Well, we're going to have you come back and talk about the book when it comes out. And as always, thanks for coming in. I appreciate what you're doing for the men and women of the military. Appreciate your service, because people like me who went on a rant like I did to start the program couldn't do that if it wasn't for the men and women of the military who give us that right for free speech each and every day.
Well,
So,
thank you for being somebody worth fighting for.
thank you.